Alrighty, fellas, yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski. Welcome back to another PokeMMO daily stream recap. This is PokeMMO stream recap 400 and say it with me, Zoomers. 6-7. Don't dislike the video, okay? Give me a chance. Give me a chance, okay? This is your daily source of Pokemon news, tips, tricks, information, and everything happening inside the Pokemon community. It's an honor to have you today. Let's go ahead and jump into our catch events and other news that's, you know, helpful for hopefully the average player base to know. If you don't know, catch events are a great way to win free shiny Pokemon and free reward points. Free reward points, the premium currency in PokeMMO. We have the unknown catch event coming up on Saturday, the 7th of February at 4 p.m. ET over in the Salation Ruins in Sinnoh. You have 1 hour to catch as many unknowns as possible. There's no species bonus, no nature bonus. It is just best IVs win for this unknown catch event. First place wins themselves a shiny unknown, the A unknown. That is important. You can select the IVs. It's not going to be the powerhouse that you want it to be in PvP or anything like that, but it's still a really cool Pokemon. You can get 1,000 RP for free. It's really important for Ironman accounts. Second place is 500 RP, and then third and fourth place are 250 reward points. Next up, we have the Milotic and Electric catch event coming up on the Sunday, the 8th of February. This is Super Bowl Sunday, but it takes place thankfully 6 hours before the Super Bowl, so you should have plenty of time to do this event as well as make it to your Super Bowl party or host if you're a gamer like that. All right. It's on the 8th of February, Sunday at 12 p.m. ET at Route 118 in Hoenn. You can catch Milotic for a +2 species bonus, Kecleon for +1, and Electrike for neutral. Nature bonuses are relevant here, +5 for Timid, +3 for Modest, and there is a shiny Electrike up for grabs with selectable IVs. This is really important because Milotic is a pretty powerful PvP Pokemon at times and is a pretty good raid Pokemon at times. You will have to put hidden ability access onto it with 3 prismatic pearls, which is decently expensive, costing you about 900,000 Pokeyen to do so, but it's going to be worth it because this will be a shiny 3x31 raid ready Milotic if you can win this catch event. So this is a fantastic catch event to take the W on. Plus, of course, as always, you get free reward points, the premium currency, which is super important for all accounts, but especially Iron Man. Next up, we actually have an unofficial catch event. I don't cover a whole lot of these, nor do I see a whole lot of these recently, but I wanted to shout this one out. This is from Cubanka, or I'm going to call him Cubo if that's okay. Cubo hosting an unofficial catch event on February 7th, 2026. This is something that people just do literally to give back to the community and just be like, it's just an out of the goodness of your hearts type thing. It's super sweet. You can see it's going to be at 6 p.m. ET. It seems like 6 p.m. ET on the 7th of February over at Route 112 in Hoenn on Channel 5. You don't have to be on Channel 5, of course. You have 1 hour to catch Torchics, Numels, and any other Pokemon on the route is a cool little distinction to try to win this catch event. And he does have a few actually specific rules for this event. One of the most important ones is being do not link or talk about the IVs of your catches in chat. That will actually result in your disqualification. So very, very important rule to keep in mind. That's usually like a meme that people like to do. They like to either lie about what their highest catch was or just flex their actual highest catch or lowest catch to keep an eye on who might win the event. But I respect this. It's gonna be tough to enforce, but I respect this because I think it's a way to just keep things secret and private until the results are actually announced, so it's more of a surprise versus like knowing. It's a bummer when someone catches a 180 Pokemon in the first 5 minutes of the event and then everybody just quits, and it's like, guys, don't quit. But I understand, you want to save your time, I get it, right? But like, you want to keep things exciting and fun and just encourage the fun of the catch event as opposed to just the chance of winning, right? So I respect this rule. I totally get it. But he explains to you how to submit your Pokemon and the prizes for an unofficial catch event. Seeing a shiny prize, shiny Boldore for first place is really cool to see, in my opinion. Second place is a Magikarp 5x31 Jolly, and then third place is the Elven outfit. So really cute, really wholesome. He does have a Twitch as well, so if you want to go check him out on Twitch, give him some love for hosting this event. Really cool to see, man. Shout out to Cubo and appreciate you doing this, dude. All right, next up we have the continued VGC tournament. I've covered this a few times. I'm not going to cover it in great detail today, but the next tournament, the next, I guess, round of the tournament is February 7th on Saturday. All details are found over on Cerulea's forum page. He's been trying to get people more interested in VGC and PokeMMO and hosting a big long-term unofficial PvP league essentially for VGC, and hopefully encourage new players to get into it. It's a really, really cool PvP game mode that I think is being underrated right now because people are just busy with other activities. Next up, I wanted to cover this quick, wholesome forum post, okay? This was someone who was like, you know what? I love the Iron Man account. I love the idea of it, all these things. But you know what? I do want to be able to play not an Iron Man account, but a similar account, an account that does trader, but allows for buying dittos and selling dittos. And I think this is awesome. I think this is the whole point of self-made rules and self-made regulation accounts in PokeMMO. And he's very honest. Like he says he doesn't want to play an Iron Man account, but he wants to play like a Bronze Man or a Copper Man or something very, very similar. And I feel like this is the beauty of like the Iron Man game mode not having its own official mode. I would love to see that happen at some point, but this is the positive of it not having its own official mode yet, is that people can play other Iron Man variants and sort of enjoy the game they truly in the way that they want to, right? There's obviously things like Chunkman mode or like group Iron Man mode or region locked Iron Man. There's all different types of ways you can either add restrictions or take them away. Maybe you can't buy Pokemon off the GTL, but you can sell them. I think as long as you are honest and open, like we don't want any players who are like, oh yeah, I'm an Iron Man by the way, but they're like buying RP and don't tell people that. Like that stings, because then it ruins the sense of accomplishment. But as long as you're honest and earnest like this player was about what his goals are, about what he wants, I think this is amazing. I think it should be encouraged. I think custom game modes like that are really fun in Pokemon games and PokeMMO. Next up, really cool, just a really cool little thing about the trade corner. I love having an opportunity to cover the trade corner. You don't see a whole lot of trade corner activity in PokeMMO these days, but with really rare weird stuff, you do see it pop up. Like this person has a 5 encounter Swellow, 5 encounter shiny Swellow, and it was single encounter. I think it's kind of cool. Also, Swellow's a beautiful shiny. I think it's cool that, I think it's a really underrated thing that them adding the encounter counter obviously didn't just give us the official encounter counter, didn't just give us a way to fact check people's encounters on their shinies. It also gave us a whole new collectible. People going for 1 encounter, 2 encounter, 5, 10 like low encounter shinies, or even high encounters. I love the idea of collecting 200k plus dry shiny. Like that's really fucking cool to me. Like I love that people are going for these collections now of shinies with specific encounters, or even like we've seen like 69 or like 67. Like I think it's a really cool just extra element, extra collection added to the game through a passive little update. So I thought it was super cool. Next up, so that's our little intro. We also have our achievement showcase. Let's go ahead and jump into it. If you don't know, the achievement showcase is where I shout out your guys' achievements, the community's achievements. If you want to be featured in the achievement showcase, go check out my Discord. There should be a chat called the achievement showcase. And you can have your link your own stuff, your shinies, your complete Pokedex, whatever it may be, whatever you consider an achievement in PokeMMO. The weirder and the nicher, the better in my book. But obviously anything is good. I love shinies, like first shinies are a big deal in PokeMMO. It's a cool way for me to give back to you guys, show you some love, as well as just show you some interesting ideas and cool challenges or achievements that maybe you want to take on, right? So before that, I do want to quickly announce I do have a movie night coming up, I think tomorrow. If you're watching the stream recap, it's probably tonight. It's Friday, February 6th at 5:30 p.m. ET. It'll be very, very casual in my Discord. It'll be like hyper casual. It might even be, someone was worried about like copyright stuff, so it might even be like we all meet at 5:30 p.m. We all watch the Pokemon movie on our own TV, and then I just say, hey guys, start the movie in 3, 2, 1, and we click play like we're fucking on TeamSpeak or Mumble back in like 2008. Like it's very casual. We're just gonna be hanging out, watching a Pokemon movie and shiny hunting in PokeMMO. That'll be that'll be it. It'll be a fun little casual time. Come hang out if you want to. We'll be watching the I think I watched this movie like on TV growing up, but I don't remember much about it. But I have like vague memories of it type beat. So we'll see if it's actually good or if it's like a fun time, All right. Finally, over to our achievement showcase. First things first, Mist sent me this. Sorry, I'm leaking our DMs, Mist. Mist sent me this DM, and I thought it was really funny. He was like, dude, it's a random Thursday. I'm ditto farming. Why am I getting auto moved to channel 7? And it really shows how popular ditto farming is right now, for good and for bad reasons. I think there's a lack of viable money making methods right now in Pokemon. I've talked about that a lot in my recent economy breakdown video. There is a lack of viable money making methods in Pokemon right now, which I hope we see fixed. But it's also kind of wholesome. It's kind of cute. Like it's like it's kind of cute to see so many people playing the game on a Thursday. Like the fact that many people are gaming at like 11 a.m. ET on a Thursday is crazy to me. So it's really impressive to see how many people are playing the game. But also I hope to see we see more viable money making methods coming up. So hopefully we see some economy changes there. Shout out to Mist for shouting that, calling that out. And then next up, this person, I love duality hunts, whether it's shiny hunts, legendary hunts, whatever it may be. This person said they hunted for Zapdos, and it took them 37 legendary lures and 28 expert lures. I don't know exactly how many that is, like in terms of like encounters or hours, but a pretty long hunt, right? And then he got his Entei two expert lures after getting his Zapdos. So I love seeing the differences. I love I think it's cool. I think it's really cool to see people have these, like, you know, see people have to go like 150k dry and then getting their next shiny at like 10,000 encounters or even 2,000 encounters. I think it's really fucking cool to see. Yeah, I am a big advocate of not popping legendary lures. Legendary lures are not usually worth it. Obviously, if you want to, more power to you. But 2 expert lures for the Entei is sick to see. Congrats to this guy on getting both of his legendaries done recently. All right, next up, we just talked about, I didn't even plan this. We just talked about interesting encounter numbers on shiny Pokemon, and this person to give proper credit, Ace Balthazar managed to get a 69,069 encounter shiny Bibarel while going for their Ralts shiny. They also named it 67+2, so you can tell they're an absolute zoomer, which I can respect. Congrats to you on your shiny Bibarel. Also, they master balled it, which is kind of like, I don't know if they did that on purpose because they saw the encounters. Like, that's really funny. Like, that's a funny master ball, man. Congrats to Ace Balthazar. All right, next up, this, at first I was like, okay, just another shiny. Then I saw the encounter. Once again, everything's very encounter number focused today. This person said Murkrow phase 1. Phase 1, by the way, this is his first phase at a shiny hunt, and he went 184,000 encounters for it. Imagine starting a shiny hunt. Like, oh, I can't wait to get a shiny Murkrow one day, guys. Poggies, oh, it's gonna be so fun. Little purple bird, yippee. And then going 184k dry and getting a phase. Like, this is fucked up, man. I hope that he gets his Murkrow in the next hunt in like 2,000 encounters. I hope we see a duality post from him in the next week or so, but still, rip GG's and congrats. I love the mental, the fortitude, the grind on this. TK Zombie, man, nice work. Good for you. Congratulations. He even said that he started hunting this like before the encounter counter was added, so it's actually closer to 200k. So an insane shunt. Congrats to TK Zombie. I hope you get that Murkrow on the first encounter back to that location, man. Good luck to you. And then next up, I'm sure it's hard to cover. This is a lot of like, no, it's the next one. So let's just, okay. This is what I called crazy new player luck. He says, I've been playing the Pokemon games since Game Boy Color all the way up until DS. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I've always been unlucky with shiny encounters. I've only seen shiny Pokemon maybe 3 times in all the runs that I've done playing traditional Pokemon. I join PokeMMO, I get addicted, and I feel like I have the opposite luck here, which this is always fucking cool to see. My first 3 shiny encounters are under 400 chance encounters. 400 encounters, you got a Spearow. He shiny hunted Geodude and got it on his 10th or so Rock Smash, and then got a Wurmple while I guess hunting or shiny hunting for a high IV Shroomish. Like, what was the Wurm? Like, this is insane. I feel so lucky and happy, and I hope that some of my luck brings you guys some good fortune. Like, it's really cool. It's a good thing to see new players go lucky, because then it encourages them to hopefully play the game for longer. But then also, it's like the duality of, you know, that dry streak is coming. That's the scary thing, is like eventually it will even out. I don't know if I can zoom in enough to see the Wurmples and count. I'm gonna try, but fuck it, we do it live. It might be too blurry when I zoom in. I'm gonna be so real. So I don't know if I can see the exact Wurmple encounters, but yeah, I think it's gonna be too blurry. The TLDR is he got 3 shinies and very few encounters, and got like 11,000. Let's say 11,000ish maybe. I want to say 11,000 encounters for the Wurmple. 3 shinies. Let's like the Spearow was at like 200 to 400. The Geodude was at a few, like 3k or so. It looks like 10 Rock Smashes. And then the Wurmple at 11k. So 3 very lucky shinies for a new player. That's the best time to see it, man. Congratulations to that gamer once again. And then finally, one more thing to cover. Iron Man Jordan, who recently started an Iron Man account, he said, nothing crazy, but I thought I'd share my Iron Man progress after getting bored of my main account, which is the best reason to start an Iron Man account. I've talked a lot about how, like, I don't recommend new players starting an Iron Man account off the bat. I would actually, like, play your main account, have fun. If you have tons of goals that you're like working on, enjoy your main account. You know, I think the Iron Man account is something you do when you're looking for a new way to play PokeMMO, but obviously to each their own, right? He said he started in Kanto just before the Christmas event without realizing how OP that would be. I made a video recently on how busted the event season was for my Ironman account. And he speed ran to the finish, allowing him to build an insane amount of capital to build a Jimmy Run team, raid Pokemon. He got around 3 million Pokeyen from the event alone. He finished all the regions very quickly in like under 20 hours and began to hunt roaming legendaries very, very quickly on the account, participating in catch events. Not only did I get both roaming legendaries, Zapdos at 1,000 encounters, and then Entei at, does this say 32-ish encounters or 32K? Once again, more zooming in. Let's see. I think it's 32-ish K. If he actually went, I can't tell. If 32-ish would be crazy. 32-ish K would be insane. 32,000 encounters dry for Entei is very, very dry. It would be an extremely long hunt. Either way, congrats to him. I was able to encounter 2 shinies within the space of 2 days. It was a shiny Tentacruel and a Rapidash, all within a month's work. He got all of this in a month's work. It's like 3 million Pokeyen, the Jimmy Run team, the Typhlosions, the Blastoises, the Smeargle. He got some BP charms and other charms from the event. Like, this is so sick, man. I thought this was so fucking cool. Pretty happy with the progress, and I want the first Ironman win. He wants to be the first Ironman to win a VGC tournament. This is everything that you want to encourage in a PokeMMO player. Congratulations to you, Iron Man Jordan. Good luck. You did amazing. Like, on your grinding was crazy. Congratulations. And I also hope that you have some more good luck along the way. So just congrats on you for your hard work and efforts, dude. That is officially our stream recap intro. If you enjoyed it, like it, dislike if not, subscribe for daily PokeMMO uploads. Follow me on Twitch for streams like this where you can be involved with the stream recaps live if you're interested in that. Let's just jump into it. I'll see you guys with probably some good questions from Twitch chat. This is a good question. Someone asked about shiny charms. They asked, you know, the age-old question, are shiny charms worth it? That's an easy question. No, shiny charms are typically not worth it. They cost so much Pokeyen for how much time they actually save. I have a few videos running over that math, right? Now, shiny charms are actually weirdly cheaper than ever, to be fair. I was watching a video where the last video I made covering the math on are shiny charms worth it, shiny charms were 355,000 Pokeyen. And fun fact, shiny charms were actually as expensive as 1 million Pokeyen per charm at one point. I know because I had to buy one during a Team Mr. Shiny war because I was out of shiny charms and they had gotten ludicrously expensive. Shiny charms used to come into the game from the Lunar New Year event. They only came into the game via sealed product from the Lunar New Year event. That's how it used to work, okay? Same with Richest Charms, Battle Point Charms, all those things. They actually all used to only come into the game from the Lunar New Year event. Now, the devs have made it so they come into the game through all the other events as well because the player base has grown so much and the demand has grown so much, they needed to implement new ways for the supply to be able to come into the game. So now we have Richest Charms other than the other events. Now, shiny charms have been fully taken out, if I recall correctly, from all the sealed product entirely. Shiny charms were actually moved over to the gift shop, and people love to claim malice of the devs and shit on the devs when they do things that, like, you know, hurts free to play or whatever. And there are valid concerns. I'm not trying to like brush away those concerns, but sometimes those same players won't give credit to the devs when they do something that is really good for the economy. I like to critique the devs and I like to glaze the devs, you know, vice versa, whenever they do something good versus bad, in my opinion, right? When they moved shiny charms over to the gift shop, locking their price at 100 RP and making their shiny charm price much more stable, the devs lost a lot of money. People were credit card swiping to buy RP vouchers to then buy shiny charms. That's how important they were during things like Team Shiny Wars, and even Official Wars wasn't available back then, to be fair. But during Shiny Wars, people would credit card swipe to buy shiny charms, right? So with the math, like back then, an RP voucher would be, back then an RP voucher was like, let's say 3.2, 3.5. It was a lot different. RP vouchers were like 3.2 million Pokeyen, right? So you would pay $10 and get 3 shiny charms. Maybe like, let's say 3 to 5 shiny charms, right? Versus now, you can pay $10 and get 10 shiny charms. So the devs made a decision that loses them money for the betterment of the game, which I think is very honorable and should be praised. I think a lot of people skip over stuff like that. I think it's important to praise the devs when good decisions are made and critique when things like temporary incubators are proposed and things like chum buckets. You know, I think it's important to do both, but I think a lot of times we see one-sided arguments from one or the other. So I love that shiny charm change. I think it was really, really healthy for the economy and really healthy for shiny hunters long term. Hey, I appreciate your honesty. Yu-Gi-Oh! MMO says, could you please make a guide on how to catch dittos with heavy balls so that black apricorns go up in price? Thank you. Hey, I appreciate your honesty. I've seen a few people, some people swear by the Snorlax strat, which uses heavy balls. My problem with it is that heavy balls are so expensive that like I don't know if it's super worth it. Like I think it's a guaranteed catch, I believe. If you're interested in like, I guess super lazy potentially is the best way to like super lazy ditto farming. I think false swipe, spore, Smeargle with safety goggles is my best strat and my strat that I recommend. With ditto farming, you generally want to use dust balls for your first 15 dittos and then switch to repeat balls from then onward, because you'll have built up the repeat ball 15 streak or whatever. Get the 2.5 times catch rate for 100. The repeat balls are 100 less Pokeyen than dust balls. So usually the ditto strat is safety or safety goggles, Smeargle with false swipe, spore, and no attacking moves. You'll never die. The ditto will never kill you, and you just do that, right? I think that's very, very chill personally. Some people do heavy balls. Whatever works for you. Like there's no like wrong answer. There's different positives and negatives. Heavy balls are way more like, what's the word? They're very. I believe the heavy balls will always catch. So it's like there's no like ball animations, which some people like, but I think it's money wise, I believe repeat balls are much better. Yeah, I think I believe financially it's much better to do the repeat ball strat, but I could be mistaken. Great question leading up to the Lunar New Year event. Someone said, for the Lunar New Year event, how does the leaderboard get tracked? Is it the fastest time completed or the amount of time completed? This was my first event. I believe it is the amount of waves and like points basically gotten. So it's the longer you survive, the better. Great question leading up to the event. That's for the abundant shrine like dungeon mini game type thing that you can grind. I know this is going to be really controversial, so my apologies, but Park, who's a PokeMMO staff member, actually talked about this, and I kind of agree with it, even though it would be a really hard change. It'd be a big change and a really hard change for a lot of players to get used to. Okay, hear me out. I like the idea of if they flip-flopped alphas. Right now, the way that alpha spawns work right now is that they spawn wildly in the wild, right? They spawn in the wild and you just go catch them, right? And then during events, you have the way you get alphas is via raids. What if we flip-flopped that so that year-round, the way you got alphas was from raids that would randomly spawn, which requires more skill and more engagement, while during the holiday events, you have the added boost of like, you can just go wildly catch them. This would do a lot of things, okay? Stay with me. Yeah, someone said it'd be bad for new players. The reason I get where you're coming from, it'd be hard. New players would feel bad because they wouldn't be able to catch alphas as easily. In my opinion, it would actually be good for new players because then it would their alpha catches would be worth a lot more Pokeyen, and it would also bring back catch for profit, which is the best new player money making method in PokeMMO. The best new player money making method is catch for profit, and that's been obliterated over the past 2 years. I understand the sentiment, and I really do empathize when a lot of new players are like, please don't take away alphas or nerf alphas because then I won't be able to go catch one for 40,000 Pokeyen and get a little surge of profit. My counter to that is, what if you could just go catch Pidgeys on Route 1 and make 150k an hour consistently, as opposed to relying on random alpha spawns that you may or may not miss because you're at work like every 6 hours. Like for new players, that consistency is so much more important, even though it's fun and exciting to some degree. So like it would actually be, in my opinion, much more beneficial. Like alphas hurt new players more than anything, in my opinion, but I understand, like sometimes from a new player perspective, they feel like, oh, you might take away one of my main money making methods because they haven't played long enough to see when catch for profit was around and how good that was, but I could be wrong, my opinion, right? But if you flip-flop them, it has this cool little reward for holiday events, right? It encourages a need and a demand for PVM Pokemon year-round, which is really important. How many players, how many friends do you know that say, man, I just can't, I don't really want to do raids because they're only around for 2 weeks. I don't really, I'm just not really interested. It's so temporary, blah, blah, blah. I know a lot of players that feel that way. What if raids were more like available year-round and they would like kind of spawn? And the way I guess the question is, if you make it so that you have to raid for the alpha catches, it couldn't just be a 1 hour spawn. What you would probably do is it would be like a full 1 day spawn. Like it would be like an alpha raid has spawned in PokeMMO, maybe like one raid or even multiple raids a day, and they stay there for 24 hours where you and people can kind of come together and do that raid. And I think that would really encourage people to have PVM Pokemon prepared, year round. I think there's, don't hate, I know it's controversial, I know it sounds crazy, but I think it actually would help. Once again, it helps fix that alpha problem of them hurting the economy. There's a lot of positives and negatives to it. I'm open to hearing other options, but it would be a pretty drastic change. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I think it kind of solves so many problems with one solution, right? Kind of like it, yeah. Even though it's controversial, I kind of like it. I feel free to disagree. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. If anything, I'm trying to help the new player experience. I do agree. Like, I always say, like right now, the hard part of being a new player. If someone says like, "Hey, I'm a new player. How do I make money?" My answer is like, man, just beat the regions and get to mid game. There aren't a lot of new player money making methods right now, which sucks. As a content creator, I hate that. I hate that I have to tell people. I have to look new players in the eyes and be like, oh yeah, just don't make money. Just go finish 5 regions and like, you know, get a trainer run Cloister, rush to a Jimmy run team as soon as possible, rush to a trainer run Cloister, rush to Ditto farming. That's not a good feeling. I don't like that, right? I miss when I could tell new players, go farm Pidgeys with Pokeballs. It's super cheap. It's super accessible. You know, go farm this Pokemon. Torkoals are really good. Pikachus, like, it was a really cool time, and I think I really missed that personally. So I'm hopeful that these changes could be benefit. We're just theory crafting here though, so don't you know. I think there could be something there. I think it's been talked about by players, but I am curious people's thoughts, opinions, and poking real logical holes through that argument, as opposed to just saying, well, that's bad for new players because new players can't catch alphas. Like, I've thought about that. We need I'm at step like 2. I need you guys to go to step 3 and poke holes through my arguments and tell me like why, you know, what could even be better, right? No, that's a really good concern. Year-round raids would make it really hard for solo queue. To add on to it, I think that the alpha raids would have to be a lot easier than like the current. Like, if we have year-round raids, don't worry, those raids wouldn't be as difficult as like Gardevoir, or like, you know, certain like we would balance it accordingly. Don't get me wrong, like, but it is an important point. I don't want people to think like, oh fuck, you mean those raids that I don't even have 2 weeks to prepare for? What if I have 24 hours like that? You know, and also the goal should be to encourage people to have a collection of PVM Pokemon, which would really encourage the demand, which is already kind of what we do in raids right now in PokeMMO. But I think encouraging people to just have a collection of like 30 to 50 PVM Pokemon, especially while they're cheap right now, is like really important. I think that should be the end game. Obviously, having 30 to 50 PVM Pokemon is a lot, but you don't need to do every raid. You don't need to do every raid, number one, and you don't need to, like, you shouldn't be able. The whole point of an MMO is you shouldn't be able to like complete it. You know, like the whole point is like, it should be like a long-term grind and pursuit that you're constantly working towards. It shouldn't be a completable thing. That's my thoughts, my opinions. Feel free to respectfully disagree. Maybe put something like swarm turn-ins for the whole year. I would be open to that. I don't know what the rewards would be. I like the idea of that a lot, actually. I feel like most people I don't check swarms very often. I feel like people check swarms for 2 reasons. Number 1, to shiny check rares like Charizard swarms, and number 2, to catch Pokemon they don't have in their Pokedex, like Relicanth, or like weird ones that are like easier to get via swarms, right? I'm not against. I kind of like the idea of like year-round swarm turn-ins, but how do you balance that and what should the rewards be is the real question. But it's a cool idea. I like it. Dude, yeah, I love little things that give. I think things that give like a few Pokeballs or repeat balls or dream balls or timer balls, any good Pokeballs as a reward is one of my favorite things, and we don't see nearly enough of that in my opinion in PokeMMO. I don't like rewards that give pure yen. Aside from, I think Jimmy runs, trainer runs, like that's enough. I think that's fine. Payday pickup. Like I don't want new or more methods that give pure yen. I don't think it's engaging gameplay personally, in my opinion, but I'd be open to it. I'd be open to the idea, right, if it's done well. I really like Pokeball rewards because they encourage the continuation of a gameplay loop and not just the end of the content, right? When you get, number 1, we sleep on how much Pokeyen we spend on Pokeballs. Like, we spend, dude, Pokeballs, Quick Balls, Nest Balls for catch events. Some of the most Pokeyen I spend on my Ironman account is on Pokeballs. I drain my cash stack buying Pokeballs on the Ironman account. I think main accounts do the same, right? Pokeballs are expensive. It's you underestimate how many you burn through, in my opinion, for so many things. Number 2, the reason why Pokeballs are like an engaging reward is because you can get profit out of the Pokeballs, but you have to go use them. It's not just, you know, the end. If you give Pokeyen as a reward, that's the end game thing. That's the end of the line, right? If you give Pokeballs as a reward, it encourages players to go play catch events, go catch for profit, go do other things to where you use those, you play the game, you have fun, and you can make even more Pokeyen if you do that. But it requires a little bit more like down the line of kicking the rock down the I guess the hallway or whatever, right? Like I really like Pokeballs. I think it's a good reward that you can give more of them. Like you can give someone 15,000 Pokeyen worth of Pokeballs versus you could probably only give them to keep things balanced like 10k Pokeyen. I think giving someone more value but in a engaging reward is better than just pure yen. I think pure yen is generally kind of a lazy reward and kind of once again stops the gameplay loop, but that's I think I would love to see more little daily quests or whatever it may be. I'd love to see more small rewards in Pokemon that provide Pokeballs, whether it's Dream Balls or P-Balls, whatever, as a reward would be really cool to see in my opinion. Great question. If you only had 2 hours a day to play, would you personally spend it shiny hunting, money making, or what? There's been many times in my life where I've, only had, which is still a fair bit of hours, only 2 hours to play every single day, or I've even done challenge accounts where I've only allowed myself to play 2 hours a day. Usually when I have 2 hours to play on an account, I will do 1 hour of money making, usually a Jimmy run, and then 1 hour of shiny hunting. Really simple, boring answer, but yeah, 1 hour Jimmy run, 1 hour, and then so if you don't like shiny hunting, 1 hour of get your Jimmy run done, 1 hour of Jimmy run every day, and then 1 hour of whatever you want to do, whether it's PvP, shiny hunting, ribbon farming, whatever it is, What about like how there was a well like in Club Penguin where the community had to achieve a goal like 1 billion total IV Pokemon, for example, donated, like and then depending on how much you contribute, you got a care package. I love this. Is like world bosses to me. I love this. This is very old school MMO to me, and I think it would work so freakishly well in PokeMMO. I think something where you either consume a bunch of Pokemon like that, like you mentioned, or even just fight one giant. I think PBO might have this, Pokemon Blaze Online, but I could be mistaken. There are other Pokemon MMOs that have this mechanic of world bosses where you go and you fight the world boss, you do as much damage as possible, as fast as possible, and then however much damage you do, you get a reward based on that. I used to play a game called this is like a niche browser game. I played a game called Cyber Monsters. I would be shocked if anyone watching on YouTube, I've never met another Cyber Monsters player. Please let me know if you ever played this. I can't even find it anymore. It's like lost to time. Such a niche browser MMO. But I loved this game growing up, Cyber Monsters. And that game had a very similar mechanic where you would go and fight this world boss every so often and get rewards, and it would level up your guild. And I think you can do some really cool stuff with it. I'd love to see something like that in PokeMMO, but it just comes down to development time and resources, as always, unfortunately. Great question. And the answers we'll have to see what prices are like during the event. You said, as a new player, do you think that swarm farming will be the best way to make money as a new player within PokeMMO? It's either going to be swarm farming or abundant shrine, depending on the mysterious ball prices and how long it takes to get them, and depending on red envelopes and like lucky reds, and if you can get lucky reds as a newer player, if you're good enough to do that, right? So that's what it's going to depend on. We'll have to just wait and see once the event is actually here. If you were a new player, keep an eye on those two things: abundant shrine and swarm farming. Great question. Wait, is that true? Wait, Raph said in chat you can check the ability before your egg hatches. No shot I'm getting Infiltrator again. Is that true? Wait, I never knew that. What? You can check what the ability of your Pokemon will come out as before the egg hatches. So I don't have to just sit through. I've gotten Infiltrator like 6 times. Is that new? That must be like newer with incubators. I never knew that. That's a really cool tip, Raph. You can check your ability of your egg hatching before it hatches. That's so weird. Also, fuck Infiltrator. Okay, someone in chat claims, they say, I actually caught a 6x7 Milotic, and I've been wondering what to price it at. If you're not fibbing, that's really fucking cool. I don't know exactly what that would be priced at. Someone's gonna be around 30 mil according to places like Epoch. I think it depends. The reason the 6x1 Ditto sold for 32 mil, because number one, it's a Ditto. Number two, it's all ones. Is this just a 6-7 joke? If this is just a fucking 6-7 joke and I'm getting baited by actually being, I swear to God. I thought you actually had like a 6x7 Milotic. There's no way. Tell me right now in chat. Is this a 6-7 joke, or do you actually have this, Doinksy? Be honest. Yeah, it would sell for 67 million. Ha ha ha. One guy. Doinksy, speak up, Doinksy. Doinksy 420. Are you trolling me or not? Be on his name. Doinksy 420, right? Be honest with me, sir. Sir Doinksy. No, it's not a 6-7 joke. Wait, okay, whisper it to me in game. This would be the greatest. This would be the greatest meme of. Wait, okay, wait. This might be worth more than. No, it'd probably be worth more than Ditto, but it'd be funny. But like people, 7's often a lucky number. That would be huge, man. I have a 6x7, 4 in HP. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean it's 6 times? There's only 6 stats. What do you mean it's 6x7, but then 4? What do you mean? If the 6x1 is valued on odds, 6x7 is worth the same? No, it depends on because like it's the same reason why like in my opinion, I could be wrong. A 6x0 or a 6x31 would be worth more than a 6x1, right? Does that make sense? Like certain numbers. Now a 6x7 is valuable because like I think 7 is considered a lucky number. It's like a, you know, the different numbers. Yeah, but for a collector, it matters. Like for a collector, people are willing to pay for different things, right? Not for no. Yeah. So how do I describe this? It's so in Magic the Gathering, there's serial cards, right? And serial card number. Let's say there's a card with 100 serial cards, right? Serial card 1 through 100 are not all worth the same. People are willing to pay more for serial card number 69, for example, or serial card number 1, or you know, even though they're all the same rate of pool, right? It's just like a collector's thing. The same way, like why collect, you know, 6x1s at all? You know, why collect anything? It's just for the fun, like that extra little element, that extra little demand. I think that's the best way to explain it, you know? Alrighty, fellas, and on that note, that's when we're gonna go ahead and call the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like the stream recap. If you did on YouTube, it helps me out tremendously. Also let me know you guys like the content. Subscribe for daily PokeMMO videos every single day. I do upload every single day on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the content, if I've earned it from you and given you enough hours of entertainment, that's very important. YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, PayPal, Venmo do help a ton. But I'll see you guys next Monday, and obviously over the weekend for more uploads. But I'll see you next Monday for the next stream, and that Lunar New Year event is sneaking up on us, fellas, so I'll definitely see you for that. See you guys later. Have a great day, have a great weekend, but for now, peace arena. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.